join me in giving a very warm welcome to the one and only Al Pacino.
Oh, here it is.
Thank you, guys. Al, we were just talking just a moment ago how just amazing it is to have you here. You know, the last 2 years we walked through a fair number of your films, and it's just been a dream to hear you, kind of revisit these films with us and share your memories.
I love doing it, and I love it that it's open for other films. All films have been done, and a lot of films that should be seen because it's not every day that we see these kind of films, and this whole institution is doing a great job, I must say. For you and for getting together with an audience and an actual film. I'm taking my glasses off. So I can see nothing. I see it dark. And here, you're there. Where do we start?
I mean, we're here for Godfather Part II. It's widely considered one of your greatest performances. It's widely considered one of the greatest films ever made. So I'm curious, when you think of it, when you watch it again and look back on it, do you think of that legacy and the impact it has?
Does it still hold up? I mean, I just, sometimes you're reminded because we have three of them. And I thought at the end, I could say this, that I thought at the end of Godfather 1, I thought I was sort of finished. I thought, what have I turned into, and I was shocked by it. And then they told me I have to do 2. You can imagine when they told me I have to do 3. But 2, I mean, at the end of 2, I think I was mummified. It was too much. But great, it was wonderful to do it and be a part of it. I did have a few sort of breakdowns on it. I don't mean that's going to get in the news or something. But at the same time, I didn't have breakdowns that needed a straitjacket or anything, but it needed rest because my life was at that time very difficult. We've all had it, times when we just are going through having to adjust to a new life. And then doing that, and there was a kind of loneliness in the character, a strange kind of living with that kind of world, in that world that was going on in me at the time. I remember it was a little difficult. But, then at one point, I was gone from there. I had to go to New York, get away for certain reasons. And they went to New York, and they did Bobby's stuff. They did great work in that. Bobby won an Oscar. Robert De Niro. Amazing. I was so happy they had him to go to. Also because, then I had to go back out there, wherever. And it was an effort, but I just I was so pleased with the outcome of it. I remember seeing it like a year later or something, and it was so much got me. So I don't know what else I could say. I know I operate really from the, when I get questions. Ready for some questions? I think I can handle that.
Let's do it. Oh, I see a question right there. Yeah.
I guess you don't have to see the person.
Yeah, we may not see anything, just keep that in mind. And please project your voice when you guys ask.
Okay, this movie and Dog Day Afternoon have my favorite performances from John Cazale's film career. I was wondering, how was the experience for you of working with him in this movie compared to Dog Day Afternoon?
Can you talk about working with John Cazale in this movie and that experience in comparison to Dog Day?
Yeah, well, totally different. Totally different in that it was just New York City, open. We had 3 weeks rehearsal, almost 4 weeks rehearsal with Dog Day Afternoon. So we were a group, all of actors who I grew up with and knew. So it was that kind of camaraderie we had. And it was so open, so free. For instance, in Dog Day, it was like if something comes to you, do it. I was about to go out on the street. I think you might know this story. It's become a famous story about to go out on the street and talk to the people out there, and they had gathered. And they were acting in certain ways, so you always had the improvisational style to deal with because you had real people out there who were communicating, and pretty soon it got to be a real bank robbery. But then when I was going out, the AD, his name was Bert Harris, great smart guy with Chris LeMaire all his life, and he went out there and just said, I was about to go out into the street again, and he grabbed me and he just said, Al, say Attica. I said, what? What do you mean? What do you mean say Attica? It's just Attica. Attica was going, I knew what it was. It was a big riot that had been going on about a year before, and they went to a prison and they killed the prisoners and stuff. It was, horrendous. And so I just, because the cops were in on me, it wasn't in the script or anything, and everybody, when I just said Attica, remember Attica, and they start going crazy. Those are the kinds of things that when I think of filmmaking, I think they're always open to us with things happening on the set and being able to adjust to them. So yeah, so it was a totally different experience. And I was around the same age too, which is, I'm still nipping away a little. Does that answer any question? I don't know what question ever been asked that answer, but will it do?
Okay, let's go right here. Yeah.
How was it like working with Francis Ford Coppola on this and with the other Godfathers 1 and 3 as well?
Working with Francis on all the films.
Oh, Francis is, Francis. It's hard really. It's hard to describe it. He is who he is. I knew it the first time I met him in San Francisco. I knew that he was he had a very big brain. Really, if you see his head too, he's very smart. And I thought he was a genius, finally. And an appetite and an energy that you rarely see. There's all those things, and he takes these chances, and he was always this way. He's still this way now. He's the greatest.
Do you go back with him and talk about The Godfather? Like, do you guys?
Oh God, no. I wrote a book, not about The Godfather, but a memoir. It's called Sonny Boy. If you like it, it's good. And I mentioned it about him, and I asked him to help me with. I was writing the book, you know, and I said it was a strange Godfather II atmosphere, and I remember it as being strange and awkward. What happened? Do you have any idea? I don't remember what happened. He had no idea. He had no idea what happened. And I said, something happened, because we were not as close as we usually are. But I don't know what we were. I forgot it completely. And he has, apparently. I hope I don't remember it on the stage. That wouldn't be fair to you guys. I don't know. But I love him, and you know, I would go to operas with him and theater with him. He's very smart. I love it when he does talk. You hear him on TV and he starts talking. And I love that he doesn't care about things. And then he also does, if you know what I mean. So it's funny.
I mean, not to speculate so much, but I mean, in Godfather 2, both of you are taking the character to a much darker place. I mean, could it be just the serious atmosphere? Like, was that part of?
I don't know. He had his kids there. Strasberg had his young kids. I was always in the pool with kids swimming around and stuff. So it's my memory of it. There was a strange feeling about what was going on politically at the time. But I was with my dear John Cazale, who I love so much, and we see him in this film, how he comes off. He plays Fredo, and was best friend of mine, really. And we were up there, but he brought his girlfriend. So he never paid any attention to me. I was so lonely up there. But I loved him so much. And then I think we did Dog Day afterward. Yeah. And I was in 2 of the Godfathers. I think all the kinds of things that Michael had to go through, which was the idea of taking a member of your own family, your brother, and eliminating him. So I thought that was super tough to deal with and live with, but it's there. You do it. I don't want to get maudlin here. I'm sorry about this.
Hey, we're here for Bleak Week.
I'm going to start getting Michael Corleone Part II. Oh, are you in for it? You know, a lot of people preferred one. My character is in investigation of it all, because in Part 3, that's how I compare it. In Part 3, Michael becomes, someone who wants to get rid of the past and wants to change and wants to be something else. And I think in a lot of ways that was difficult for an audience because they saw Michael in a certain way, and I know Francis tried to go in that direction. I've been in so long, and something like that. What do I say? Do you remember? I've been out so long, it feels like in to me. You know the book, I've been down so long, it looks like up to me. Oh, it's an old Abby Hoffman book, I think. I don't know who wrote that. But I did feel that as soon as I get out, they pull me back in. It sort of works for everybody and everything we do, right? We're always doing the same thing that we said we're not going to do, and we just do it again. Like getting up in the morning. It just keeps happening. And then guess what? It's over. It's over. I'm at that stage now, I think I'm 108 or something. But you say, okay, up again. Out again. Oh, and by the way, I got a film coming out in a while. I don't know, but it's called Lear Rex, and it's an adaptation of King Lear, and the great director Bernard Rose has directed it, wrote it, and Barry really produced it, and it's got a great cast, you know, a great cast. So we've been, huh? Oh, Danny Houston, I forget. Danny Houston is in the audience. And let me tell you, he's great in this film, Lear. And he's here. He's my only friend. But anyway, it's been really a joy doing Shakespeare, because you know I like it. So it was a big challenge, and I think it's a good movie. So I hope it comes out. I hope we have a screening here.
Is that this year? Maybe we'll see it at the Egyptian.
What did she just say?
She said it's coming out this year.
This year? How do you know that? Really? Is she telling the truth, gang? We all hope so. I know it is coming out this year. Let's it's coming out. Coming out this year. I try to be funny every once in a while. Have you noticed? Is there another question in the house?
There are a lot of questions. Let's go in the back. Yeah, right there.
So, Al, in addition to being an actor, you did incredible performances like in this movie. You're also a director. You did Chinese Coffee and Looking for Richard. Was there anything you learned from Francis about directing that you really carried with you when you directed your own films?
Did I learn anything from Francis about directing?
When you started directing your own films. He said.
Oh God, they're real directors. No, please, don't mix me up with that. I work with Scorsese, I work with LeMaire, I work with Coppola. They're directors. I'm not a director. I just like go there and I say, what will we do today? And I sort of like bossing people around. I didn't know that until I started directing. I said, this is fun. Yes, go over there. I don't do that. Listen to actors, because actors know everything, believe me. They you know, and so I directed a few films. I did. I don't think you've heard any of them. I know some of you know what's even the name? Looking for Richard. I didn't direct it. I directed it, Looking for Richard, but I was going to mention another film that I didn't direct, so. But I got a few. I did a thing called Salome. It's called a Wild Salome. That's a few. That's good. I mean, and I like the Salome I did with Jessica Chastain. Was when I first discovered her, and I wasn't going to do it, but she was so great in the role and the audition. She's such a great actress. And she's in Lear, actually. She's in Lear. She's gone among a lot of great people. Danny's in there, and Peter Dinklage is in there. And a lot of people that you'll know. They're doing a great job. I think I directed her, and that film. I mean, I love Salome. I love Oscar Wilde's Salome, and I directed it. And no one saw it. It's what usually happens when I do my art films. I just say, I'm just doing this. I got to such a deal when I had money. I don't have money anymore. When I had money, I put it into films that were never going to be seen. So it turned out like strange. But I like it. I still like it. I got those films. I usually invite friends, and they're forced to see it. And they look, and they try to be nice. I got a couple of ones that I think I did a thing called Chinese Coffee. Let me tell you what I did. I'm a theater person too. I've done a lot of theater. That was my whole life was theater. And so I would occasionally come across a new play that I thought was very interesting. And I knew that it won't get a life, you know. So I made a film of it. and every one I made failed, you know, but I still have them. So when I'm gone, when I'm off this earth, you should take a look at them. Because of the writing, I find the writer that I like. I come out of the Greenwich Village in New York. That was my understanding. I saw Charlie Sheen just the other night. He was at the talking about Big Hug because he's Marty Sheen's son. You know? Marty Sheen, the actor. He and Marty Sheen worked for a place called the Living Theater in those days, which was a big theater, and where we learned a lot and developed as artists in that environment of the early 60s, which was New York was, you know, it was like Paris in the turn of the century. It had that kind of magic to it, and you had everybody. You had Kerouac there, you had Allen Ginsberg, you had whoever, the great painters, Pollock, Jackson Pollock, and the great artists all over the place. We had cafe theater. You know, it was, I would do plays in the cafe theaters. I do 60 performances a week. And Marty Sheen was right there with me, except Marty Sheen knew I was 18, he was 18, and we were, you know, cleaning toilets for the Living Theater. So, and then also we would put the set down. Am I making any sense? Yeah. I don't know what I'm saying now. It's some sort of dream. But at the same time, I'll keep going. Marty Sheen lived with me, and in an apartment I had in the South Bronx. And he and I lived together. Occasionally, actors would come and live with me. I know it's funny. I remember it. It was so poor, so poor. I remember we went to Rockaway Beach and we were picking up, trying to look for clams. And we were there picking up, and the sun was on our back and everything. And then we had to get the subways all the way up back to the South Bronx, me and Marty. And he's sitting in the kitchen. I can see it as if it happened yesterday. There he is sitting down there, and I'm by the sink in the kitchen. I got the water turning, and I got the clams under the water because they're so full of sand. We can't eat them. And we're starving. That's my past. Charlie was named after my dear beloved friend and mentor, Charlie Lawton. Charlie Franklin, not the other Charlie, Charles. He was my mentor forever, and Marty made his first video because Charlie wrote a lot of poems, and he wrote this poem on Emilio, and he named Emilio, and he named Charlie, who happened not to know that last night. He didn't know he was named after Charlie. Charlie gave him his name. Then he said, "That's not my name." Maybe it's not his name anymore. But I loved him. I always loved Charlie. I loved Charlie. I gave him a little heart. And so, yeah, you see someone in the lobby of a hotel. It's just strange, isn't it? All kinds of people. It's like they're not on the street. They're in hotel lobbies. I could take this on the road. Everybody up? Got another question? Did I answer yours? I must have, yes. Nobody's heard Ross yet.
Right here. Right here.
Let's go
He
right
can't
here.
see anything, guys. He can't see anything, and he's young.
I wanted to ask if you had a favorite scene from this film, and if so, why? And if you have any memories from shooting that scene.
Do you have a favorite scene from the Godfather Part II, and why, and if you remember actually shooting it?
I guess looking at Fredo's wife dancing on the dance floor. The truth is gonna finally come out. I don't know a favorite scene. I just there were a lot, so many, and usually I like scenes where I didn't have to say anything. I like that in all films. And so I do Shakespeare, you know what I mean? But that's okay. I love words. I love words. I love words. I love words in films. I love words in plays. You keep talking, pretty soon you get somewhere. Try it. Look at me. I'm turning into Robin Williams or something. You just keep talking. You don't know what you're saying. Please come out. I hope you're recording this.
Sure are.
Sure it is for me, you know. No, I don't have a favorite scene. If I think of the film, I want to, do I have a story for you? Are you ready for this? This is big. I gotta say it because I'm here and it's fun to say things that really happen. I was doing the scene. Remember the scene where Michael gives over the Dawn ship to Hagen, Bobby Duvall, the great Bobby Duvall. We love him. And so that night, did the whole scene, but somehow that night, I went with Diane Keaton. And we went to the wrecking room up in Tahoe, because that's where it was done, Tahoe. And to see the Russians, or the film we did shot the other day. And for some reason, Robert Duvall was in there. I you know, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know. I never go. And then lights went down, the screen went up. There was no light on the screen, but there was dialogue. Me and Robert were talking. The whole scene. And lights come up. And I looked at Diane and I said, I think we have to put a line in there that says, I want to talk in the dark. I'm thinking of what we're going to do. Best to keep the lights out. So I said, Francis, I remember Gordy Willis, the great cinematographer. Wow, I loved him. And I said, there's no light in the scene. He says, there's light in the sea. I said, I don't think so, Francis. I didn't see anything. I said, I have good sight right now. I can see. I see you. I look at the screen, I see nobody. Please tell me what we're going to do. That's how I talk to him. We had this relationship that went on forever. I said, Francis, and then I hear there was a rec room, and then there's a kitchen in the rec. And I hear, what the fucking wrong, you fucking bone? I keep banging things. It's Bob Duvall. I guess he's upset. Oh, God. I'm sorry. You had to be there. The video on this one was insane. It was so beautiful. And then everybody's up and leaving. And I'm saying, what? I mean, you know, what do you do? You're an actor. You have no power. Or you think you don't. But you just don't. And then I started thinking, this can't be happening. So me and Diane go back to some hotel we're in, which is a big thing going on. Like, I was in something. All I used to do was have Coors beer with tequila every night. Two, Luma. And then, the idea was I wasn't drinking tonight. And I don't know what's going on, and I call my co-actor, Robert, and I say, Rob, I said, what are we gonna do? Yeah, like fucking makeup over. I said, makeup over? You saw makeup on your face? Yeah, she just screwed up. I thought, we are all crazy. But Diane and I were not crazy at the time. Now it would be different. But at the time, I didn't know what to do. Honestly, I didn't. I said, do I become a rat? Call Paramount. All I know is what they would say is, Pacino, take care of it. They're not going to do anything for sure, you know, I mean, but I knew it was trouble. And I have to say it. They called in and said we got to do the scene over. Hate to be right. One of the reasons because it was a good scene the first time. You know what I mean? Now you got to go do it over again and do it again. And we did it again. I just never understood why Bobby Duvall said blame it on his makeup person. I can never make that out. I can never put something else. I didn't talk much to Robert Duvall. I just didn't talk much to him. I never did. You know, people are fine. He's fine, great actor. And he was so good to me. He got unbelievable. He and all those guys was so good to me. I was like this kid who came in and nobody wanted to, you know. But anyway, I said that. I hope I didn't speak out of turn here. No, I mean it was a true story. It's a funny story. Don't you think? They get a little more intense than that. But I think that was the memory I held. I just found it so amusing about people. You know, you just don't understand it. About transference, you know, going from it's really happening and then coming up with that. My makeup person. That's a real jump. That's okay. But I remember it. I thought, okay. So I've continued to. I'm going to continue asking. You have another question?
Let's see. Okay. All right.
What did Scent of a Woman mean to you as an actor?
So the question's about Scent of a Woman, what it meant to you as an actor.
Scent of a Woman. Yes. It meant a lot. I think it was a beautiful script, beautifully directed by Marty Brest, and I love what's his name? Chris LeMaire, yeah. I love that boy so much, and all. I love Marty Brest really. I mean Marty Brest is just so such. You just feel his enthusiasm, you know. Of course, I was insane, and I was outside. He used to call me Diablo because I would walk outside around in a circle in the cold, just going and walking. I didn't know why I was doing that because sometimes I get into these rituals. But I knew my lines, and again, they didn't rehearse, which is always has some good things about it, but movie acting nowadays is no mercy, which is, it depends on the situation. I had a good time doing it. I know I went in, learned how to do I load and unload disassemble a gun, blind and, with your sight, and not sight, undo it, whole gun, and then put it back again. And every time I would do it, there was a colonel there, and he would say, "Hoo-ah." And I said, "What's hoo-ah? Hoo-ah?" He said, "Yeah. Oh yeah, when the troops do it, they swung with it." He goes, "Hoo-ah!" I thought, "You're getting in my movie." I like winning an Oscar too for it. I had 8 nominations. I got up there and I said, "You broke my streak."
All right, let's see. Who's got a Godfather 2 question? Let's go back there. Yeah.
I think obviously one of the most important parts of this film was the juxtaposition between, Michael and young Vito. Did you find yourself building at all off of Robert De Niro's performance in the film?
I'm coming right up.
He's asking about the juxtaposition between Michael and young Vito, and if, that part of the film informing your performance and what you were doing with Michael.
No, I thought I don't think so. I thought he did such a great job, Bob did, in making the character like Marlon. I mean, you even can see it throughout it, the little gestures he makes. So he had, really studied Marlon as Vito, and that was beautiful. I didn't, I just thought there was a good scene that I like about it, when I am young. You see the ending of the film? Stay long enough? Okay. Did you recognize that I was young?
Yes.
How did I look? No, I'm joking. I'm just saying, I was young, and when I first got there, and I was a different kind of person. I was, I was idealistic and all that. And then we know the story. My life was taken from me by necessity, and I think that's a tragic thing. And I found that this is tough on the old. Yeah, it's tragic. Here's a tragic figure to me. All from the middle of one till the end of the film. I think he had something that was locked him up in a way, and he suffered. So I don't know about thinking of Vito. He loved his father, he did, and he knew what he had to do. But his father didn't even groom him. Once he started to get there, his father would talk to him about things that were going on. But I think that Michael was born with this ability, kind of innate understanding of business, or Machiavelli, or whatever. He understood it easily, very easily. He even went further than his father. But he had to disassociate himself from it. So he lost his movement because he was going in a direction and had to stop and become something else. It's just that he was able to do it because he had the gift to do that kind of thing. So, that's sad.
Do you remember when you first saw De Niro's scenes of young Vito? Was that in the finished film, or was that
In the
as you were making? That was the
I
first
saw
time you
the
saw it.
film.
Okay.
Yeah, and I thought, my, first of all, we learned Italian, Sicilian. I mean, that was like, mastering that is so difficult, you know, and being in it so much, so beautiful. So I was a big fan of it. He won an Oscar for that. And I don't know what else. I can't talk much about The Godfather for some reason, but I had that story, didn't I? That stayed in my mind. I don't know what else stayed in my. Oh, I'm not going to say it. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for even starting that little sneaky thing I did during it.
Okay, we have time for like one or two more, and then we'll wrap here. Yeah, how about in the back there? Yeah, I see you.
Pacino, it's an absolute pleasure. Given that Michael is the younger son in the first part, and he becomes the Godfather in the second one, how did you approach the same character in two different films?
Can you talk about? I think that's a good question. Approaching, approaching the same character in two films. Can you talk about getting back into the role of Michael after taking, several years off?
In Godfather.
Yeah, between 1 and 2.
Yeah. I wanted me. Mario Puzo met me at a place called the Ginger Man. Said he has a script. And I thought, oh, do I have to do this again? Oh my. So Coppola wasn't involved. I don't know who they had. And I said, oh, well, okay. And Puzo said to me, in the Ginger Man, he said, it's crap. He was very honest, straightforward. I loved him. I did love him. Yeah, Mario was so smart, so intelligent. It's a real writer. He was a writer. And he said to me, it's crap. I don't know, they told me to give it to you, so I'm giving it to you. I said, oh, thank you, I'll read it. And he was right, of course, it was crap. So I didn't know what to do. I said, well, I can't do this. And then it started. Money. Money. More money. More money. And then there was a chest in front of me. Treasure chest. This producer, who I particularly loved, by the way, said, Adam, look, what if I told you in this chest we have $1 million? That's really something. Yeah. I said, I can't even compute it. It's his name, keep his name off but Mr. Producer. I said, I can't compute this. It's ephemeral, it's beyond me. It's way over my head. He was looking at me like he wanted to kill me. He thought probably I may be going for more yet. I said, I just have to say to you, Mr. So-and-so, I just have to have a better script. So Francis was called. And then a lot of things happened before. It's in the book too. I talk about it. A lot of things. And I don't know. People are. I remember it back there. I remember trying to get Clements or Richie Castellano, a great actor, theater actor. Just didn't want to do it. And I actually said to him, Richie, you got to do it. This is a beautiful part. It's the one Michael Gazzo did. Remember him? Yeah. Hey, wait, come on here. And he was great in it. And he got a nomination for an Oscar. And I knew it was that kind of performance. was, yeah, I remember that. And then I had to figure out how, and me and Charlie went out to San Francisco, and we worked with Francis Coppola on coming up with the script you saw. And he worked like crazy, and sooner or later it came out. It was a script, really good script too. So, and I remember my friend Charlie said to me as we passed, he says, "I think we all here. We were here for a while. This hotel, 617 room. It's one of those hotels. Girl, I wish I knew the name of it. It was one of those famous Fairmont, I think, Fairmont, San Francisco. If you go there, go into room 617. We're still there, you know, the ghosts." And he said, "We made history in this room. We made history, all of us, because we stayed on the thing." See, sometimes you don't have rehearsal, but Francis has rehearsal. He had people rehearsing, doing other things, so they're doing improvisations. But in there, he had the text, and it was great. And he's a great writer. So all I can say is we got lucky.